Dionna, you know what's happening? Hold on. We might have to start again. It is being so funky. I'm going to send us one more link. Thank you so much for your patience. My cheeks are pink.
Join recording. Enable audio.
Running health checks. This is happening. Yep. Oh my God. I want to cry. Part of the failing it experience, I guess. Okay. I wish it wasn't. Okay. Okay. Hey friend, are you a leader who is career-focused, goal-driven, and possess a lifelong learner mentality? Do you dream about achieving your goals and spend hours Googling how-tos and gurus? Does a side effect of your awesome, might I add, personality include perfectionism, the dreaded imposter syndrome, and the ever-present fear of failure? Well, you've landed in the right place. We just became virtual BFFs. I'm Erin Deal, the founder of the improv training company Improve It, and a recovering perfectionist turned fail-fluencer. Inspired by the improv rule, there are no mistakes, only gifts. This podcast is the creative outlet you need to not only motivate you, but the people that you lead. Through interviews with corporate leaders, entrepreneurs, and even comedians, you'll walk away becoming a more empathetic boss by realizing that failure is a part of the journey and you must fail in order to improve. In the scene of life, we all have our own unique gifts that we bring to the world, and it is our mistakes that help to unwrap them. Welcome to Failed It. Hey, Failed It fam. It's time for your Failed It family member of the week. Sometimes we sing on this show. This Failed It fam member is Mela Snipes. Mela says, relevant and insightful. Erin is a wonderfully engaging host who also keeps it interesting and on our toes. Her partnerships with others and her podcast are spot on and incredibly relevant and insightful. I have loved her tips on trying to survive this world we're currently living in. Mela Snipes, thank you. And Failed It fam, if you haven't, please leave us a review. It really means the world. And Mela Snipes, because of you leaving this review, I'm going to gift you one of our Improve You e-learning courses. You can check them out on our website, learntoimproveit.com/online trainings. That's learntoimproveit.com/online trainings. And there's going to be 11 different e-learning courses for you to choose from. So pick one, email me at info@learntoimproveit.com, and we will hook you up for leaving us a review. Thank you so much. It really does mean the world. Failed It fam, let's get to failing it. Failed It fam. This is Erin. I'm so happy you're here today. I have a very patient woman, a awesome woman, an improviser, a fellow improv lover, a facilitator, and just an all-around great human being here with me today. Welcome to the Failed It podcast, Dionna Griffin.
Hello. Thank you so much, Erin. I am delighted to be here. I am in my mom's house. It's a little bit dark down here, but we're good.
That's okay. That's okay. Because the show is actually, no one can see it except these little clips we're going to play. So you're fine. They just need to hear you, which was just Failed It fam. Okay, you're hearing me say this a lot for these past couple of episodes. We've had some technical difficulties, and you have been the most patient human being on the planet. So thank you, Dionna. Oh my God. Bless up. What a journey. So I'm going to share with what we call our Failed It family, your bio, because it is so impressive. We're going to build you up and then we're going to break it down, not you down, but just the failures that you've had to get to these awesome places. All right. So Failed It family. Dionna Griffin-Irons is a writer, comedy producer, and the longtime former director of talent diversity and inclusion for the Second City U.S. and Canada. She's delighted to share her story on the Failed It podcast. Thank you so much. For 2 decades, she's used her inclusion and belonging strategy, finding your truth voice in boardrooms, prisons, shelters, classroom spaces, and stages to create personal transformation around leadership, empathy, and resilience. As an instructor and consultant, Griffin-Irons has facilitated 200 plus workshops to corporations, organizations, and students around the globe, including Embassy Norway and Latvia, using improvisation as a creative tool for social change, which is just, let me give a little praise hand. Yes. Her work has been featured on ABC, NBC, American Theater Magazine, Diversity Journal, and with University of Chicago's TEDx, The Incredible Unknown. Griffin-Irons teaches at DePaul University and the Computer Digital Media program. She is the core faculty with Story Studio Chicago, and that is actually how we met. Thank you, Jill Pollack. The Chicago Dramatists and the Second City Film School, nurturing the next wave of storytellers. Her signature class, Telling Your Truth, has helped students and professionals who fear the writing process go from 1 page to 15 pages in a month. Okay, let's pause right there. First of all, when you hear these accolades about yourself, are you just like, who is this amazing person?
Yes. I'm like, oh my gosh, who is this? Because I tell you, yes, I'm wondering like, who and what did I tap into to do all of those things? It's like a stranger. It's like the imposter, but a good imposter that has creeped in and that takes over. And somebody's having a lot of fun, right?
So much fun. Mm-hmm. I mean, I hear your bio and I'm just blown away at how you've taken the tool that we both love, improvisation. You've used it in so many areas. You've impacted so many lives through the art form. So we're going to get into that in just a minute. But I want to ask, this is just a fun question. What's a fun fact about you that we couldn't find from your profile on LinkedIn, your resume, your bio? What's just a fun fact about Dionna that we don't know?
Oh, a fun fact is that I'm a Girl Scout.
What? Like how many pins, what are the badges? How many badges do you have? And what is your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
Hospitality, first aid, cooking, the outdoor one. There's a civic service one. I went up all the way to junior. I didn't go to cadet because I think we end up moving, but I'm a Girl Scout and I love outdoors. I love nature. And so I don't even know if I got a bird one, if there was a bird one, but I'm an amateur birder. I like birds.
Yeah. What? Okay. First of all, so many questions. My brother doesn't listen to this show, but he considers himself a bird. That's a whole thing in itself, Dionna. We won't even get into that, but I'm just fascinated by this. Wait, and I also need to know, what's your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
Oh, shortbread.
Oh, for
shortbread,
sure.
Not too sweet. It's not, it's just a simple shortbread one that I can have with tea and it's not too sweet at all. But yeah, that's my favorite.
Do you put a thin mint?
I don't feel guilty.
Oh, yeah.
Thin mint. Yes, thin mint.
Do you put those in the freezer? Are you a thin mint freezer person?
Oh, I haven't done that.
It's like a peppermint patty, a York peppermint patty frozen. It's like something you feel like you would get in a fancy restaurant at the end of a meal, something like a palate cleanser. I digress, but that is exciting and something I did not know. I'm so thrilled to know that. So thank you. So you were introduced through a mutual friend, which came up in your bio, Story Studio Chicago, Jill Pollack, who we both love, adore. She's somewhat of a mentor to me. And you and I had a previous convo prior to this conversation, and it was like talking to a long lost friend. You're just such a breath of fresh air and someone I am so proud to know. So I'm thrilled to have you share your story with the Failed It family today. I want to know if you can tell us a little bit more about how you became an improviser. And just to let you know, we've had comedians on the show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but no improvisers yet. So you are truly the first true improviser. So how did you become an improviser? And then what drew you to this art form?
I happened on this art form by mere coincidence and luck, because I had just got out of college and I made myself go back down to the theater calling audition boards and ran into a friend who said, "Hey, did you know that Second City," and I was in Detroit at the time, "is hiring and holding auditions?" I didn't know a darn thing about improv. I just knew improv as jazz and dance, which I both loved, and in music. And I'm like, I'm not funny. What the heck? It's like, but I took it as a sign because it's like, why did I bump into this person right before looking for a job posting on the theater boards? And I auditioned, and on a whim, it was an audition of 400 people. And on a whim, on the last day of a 5-day audition, I made it down to the top, 20 out of 400 people who had auditioned. And I made it to callbacks, and I was mentioned by one of the producers who said, "Hey, we see something in you. We want you to get training. We want you to continue on and give this improv a shot," and got a scholarship. And that's how I kind of got my way into this art form that took my life over. It really took my life over.
Was this just a general's audition? Was this for all the things, the boat, the tour co, house companies, all the things?
This was a general's auditions at Second City, Detroit. They were casting for understudies for the touring company and for the resident stages. And they were also looking for talent for the business end. And that would be the corporate division that would go out and do improv for corporations.
That is insane. And you had never done improv until that point. That is so awesome, because people audition for like directors, there's a directing program at Second City, and you kind of get cast in some of the shows that these up and coming directors are looking for talent for, and sometimes you don't even get those. And that's, they're looking for like new improvisers. You were up against the best of the best, and you made it through that process. I mean, that's insane. And then, oh my gosh. Okay. So I don't want to get too far in, because I have so many great cues for you, because you took this role of improviser now. And then what happened? I don't want to go too far down, but what happened right after that?
After I did the audition.
Yeah. And you started training.
I started training. I started studying the work. And I would say this is probably into 6 months, maybe 9 months or so. And before you knew it, I got the call, asking, could I understudy? Could I understudy the stages? So that was coming in the peaks. And then, things I was doing the work, I was learning the art form. And the next thing is I get this call, being offered a job after I had been training, and the job was, "We'd like you to go in. We think you've been doing great as an understudy, but now we'd like to offer you this role for the resident stages." And mind you, I still hadn't gone in on the official stage yet. I was still, quote unquote, the understudy, but now it's like, okay, we want to move you up, and now we want you to take this job. And it was the best news ever. The freaking best news.
Yeah. So if anybody listening, Failed It family, most of you are not improvisers. So I'm going to just say that for everyone listening, this stage is so hard to get onto. I mean, it is cream of the crop. Like, you are like top dog in the improv world to get on a Second City main stage. Was it ETC?
It was the main stage.
Main stage. Mm-hmm. That's just, it takes so much time, usually effort, just years of reps and showcasing to get on this stage. The fact that you moved from understudy who had never really been on the stage as an understudy to a main stage performer is crazy.
Yes. And and now I have to say this, I think the caveat, I was touring with Ain't Misbehavin', a touring group with my college. I had already graduated from college, but I had got cast in this touring show. And at the same time, when I'm auditioning. So I guess my background kind of like, well, I'm already an actor in theater. I already have this background, but I didn't have the improv chops. So let's just get her some improv skills under her belt. And so then when we need her, she'll be ready to go. And then that call just came so freaking fast. I mean, it's like, I thought like, understudy and then I'll go in. It's like, nope, you got the job. We want to hire you. You're going in for the main stage. So you're going to go in, but then that's going to be a permanent role. And it was mind blowing, but it was the best news ever because I felt like it solidified, me wanting to be a bona fide, actor, performer, finally get paid for this craft, to get on stage, to get an equity card. And so I felt, it's definitely a milestone. It was definitely a milestone because like you said, it's so competitive and a lot of people are vying for that slot. So I felt pretty lucky.
And then how long were you on the stage from there? So how long did you perform?
I performed for about 4 reviews. So about a year.
That's crazy.
So yeah, it was the best. But that day was filled with the day that I got the news was also the good news was also a day that was also filled with a bit of surprise and unexpected news.
Yes. Okay. So I do know this story and I'm going to just pause you right there because this leads us into the purpose of the Failed It podcast. Hey, Failed It fam. Do you have what the kids call Zoom fatigue? Are you sick of logging on Zoom and hearing things like, can you see my screen? Oh, you're muted. And oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I'm late. Are you working from home in your bedroom slippers and business mullet like me, which I'm talking about wearing a business top and yoga pants on the bottom, feeling like it's Groundhog's Day every single day? Do you need some laughter, levity, and fun in your workday to change things up while remote? How about a laugh break? That's right. It's called Laugh Break, and it's Improve's newest virtual offering. Laugh Breaks bring seasoned Chicago and Charlotte-based improvisers into your virtual conference call for a little taste of short-form improvisation. In each session, improvisers engage on live, on-the-spot games based on your team's laughter and suggestions. Now, whether your team needs a quick 15 minutes of laughter or a more substantial 30-minute break, Improve It has got your back. You can go to www.learntoimproveit.com/laugh break or just click on the link in our show notes to book yours on demand today. Again, that's learntoimproveit.com/laugh break. Get ready to sit back, relax, and grab some giggles because we could all use a little laugh break right now. See ya on the Zoom. You know just as much as I do that one of the biggest rules in improv comedy is there are no mistakes, only gifts, right? And I love the story that is about to come, Failed It family. So wherever you are, turn up that volume, sit down, get a coffee, a tea. We're going to need a kumbaya moment because this is one of my favorite lessons, AKA gifts that I have heard. It's so good. It's so good. So let's talk. Let's get into Failing It. What was one of the biggest gifts that the world threw at you that day? And I just did air quotes for those of you who can't see. So gifts is what we call our fails on the improv stage. So tell us about that journey.
Yes. The same day that I get this great news that we want to hire you, you're hired for the main stage. 10 hours later, I also get the worst news. And that is I am arrested for picking up my boyfriend's mail. And so this is in my 20s. At the time, I was dating a sugar daddy. Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
Hey, you know what? We all have some 20s moments we do not want to live. Okay, so trust me. But this gets to a good point, a lesson learned though. So okay, keep going.
Yes. So bad news. I get arrested. 11 hours later, after receiving the good news, and 11 hours later, I'm arrested for picking up my boyfriend's mail. My boyfriend's out of town. He's an older man. I thought it was business mail. I thought maybe at the most that maybe, okay, maybe yeah, I'm picking up money. Maybe I'm picking up some money, but it ended up being drugs, lots of drugs. And let's just get specific because details are good in improv. 2 kilos of cocaine. So mama didn't go big. Mom didn't go little. I went big, right? Little did I know
big,
that
go
sugar
home.
daddy boyfriend was a freaking king. Right. He was a kingpin. He was a kingpin. And he let little old me, the Girl Scout gal, you go pick up my mail while I'm out of town? Oh yeah, I'll go get it. And I picked up his mail and I held it while he was out of town. And I would do this often. Little old me, I'd never open up his mail, but I picked up his mail. I would hold it and then I would give him his mail. That mail contained large amounts of drugs. They didn't get him, they got me. So I had this secret. You know, I spent one night in jail, and on Sunday, you know, when I was released out of jail for that one night, I had no money. I had to ask for money for the first time in my life. And a stranger, can I have bus fare so I can get home to my mom and tell her, guess what happened? And Monday morning was when I was signing my contracts for the theater.
Oh my God.
All of this had happened in the back of me. And so I signed my contracts. I took my mom with me. And meanwhile, I have this dark cloud that is just hovering over me during my entire journey performing on the stages. I'm making up characters, I'm singing songs, and then I'm going home and I'm just bawling. I'm crying. I'm putting my hands on TV. I'm trying to find every evangelist TV show that I can find. I'm praying. I'm putting my hands on the TV screen, and I am just like, please, Lord. I'm asking to just take this thing away. This cannot be happening. But it was very, very real. And for about a year, I had this dark cloud of maybe I might be going to jail. And I didn't tell anyone about this failure, that I had failed myself. I had, this big guilt thing that had happened. Like, oh my God, I made the worst mistake in my life. I fell in love with the wrong man. I fell in love with the crook. I fell in love and I said yes to him, yes to this, yes to getting a fake ID, yes to picking up his mail. And all of these things just led me down this dark, road of no return. But I had the stages and I had improv to see me through, to kind of be my guiding force, my guiding light that would allow me to take my brain away from the reality of like, jail is coming. It's coming, girl, but you go ahead and keep playing, but jail is coming.
It's like, I totally picture that moment when you come home, I totally just picture you walking in the door. You just made hundreds of people laugh. You're living your best life. And then you walk in and reality sets in and you're like, it's on your shoulder. It's yes. In your mind. I can't even, I don't even know how that would feel because that is so real. Cause you haven't told anybody at Second City at this point.
No.
Right.
And it was, exactly. And it wasn't until maybe the last 2 weeks or so. And mind you, this thing it escalates like a great freaking scene where I get indicted, so first I'm just like, oh, I'm hoping the thing will go away. It never goes away. I get approached by an attorney, very colorful attorney. I get indicted. I go to trial, all the while I'm also in a rehearsal process, learning characters and creating satire for a show. The irony of it all is one of the last shows that I performed at Second City was, the title was, wait a minute, what was it? I can't think of the title now, but one of the closing acts was We're All Guilty, Lady Justice. Is Lady Justice fair? I mean, how ironic can I be going through this experience and then I'm just singing, I want something that is fair. I want something that is free. I just want to be like me. I'm just going through I want a system that is not blind. I couldn't, how more ironic could this, could the universe be sending for me to be creating a song about Lady Justice and about everything in the world. And here I am going to trial in the day and then singing about justice and freedom on stage. And then wondering what is going to happen in my life. So the last few weeks, I tell one of my cast buddies, Kim Green, and she's, Dionna, everything's going to be okay. They don't want you. Trust me, Dionna, they don't want you. You're a small fish. It's going to be okay. Then I get Second City to come and my cast. And so I invite them. They come to the trial with me. And we all think they don't want, I even make plans. It's like, we're going to go to my favorite Mexican restaurant and we're going to have, I already had it. It's like, I'm going to order chicken and cheese enchiladas. We're going to have. I mean,
wait, you didn't get this didn't happen because you basically, from there, they took you in from there?
Yes. So the verdict comes down guilty. My cast is there to witness it. My beau is there to witness it. We all thought that there's no way. But here's the thing. You can't try to fight the government. The government wins 98, 99% of their cases. And they didn't have the crook. They had the next best thing. And that was his girlfriend. And so, yes, I lost the trial and I did not have a self-surrender. I did not have an orange is the black moment where it's like, let me just think about this and let me just self-surrender. Let me get right in the mindset. I did not have one of those. It was, I was immediately remanded to custody. And so I had just been performing maybe the day before on stage. And then the next day, I'm handcuffed and I'm escorted off to jail because the verdict is guilty. And that, beyond being just like feeling like I failed and just felt so miserably, myself. I remember mentioning, I had this other moment, like my life is over. My life is over. And I was squeezing my attorney's hand and I said, my life is over. And in that same instant, I heard, it's just beginning.
Oh my God. Do you know that I've had chills for real? And I hate when podcast hosts are like, I get the chills. No, I for real have had the chills twice during this conversation. I believe in the universe. I really do. I believe in everything you're saying, signs, and I believe in that voice. Mm-hmm. So tell the failed family what you did because you were sent to all women's prison. Is that right?
Yes.
So what did you do when you got there? Or how did you cope with being in this prison?
I taught improv. And here's the thing, and this is why it was so freaking huge for me because, the only identity that I knew was daughter, improviser, mentor, girlfriend, sister, all of these, things, roles that I played and that I knew. And then instantly I fell into this other identity. And it was improv that allowed me to tap into a whole level of being. And not only just a level of being in a different persona, it reminded me to remember who I really, really am. So despite the new label of inmate, prisoner, so, whatever you want to call it, felon, whatever you want to call it, all those, labels. I had this theater background. I had improv that reminded me that, no, you can play anyone. And it also reminded me of who I really, really am. And then I taught this work of improvising, of getting out of our heads, of giving into the moment to get us out of this depressing environment. And that was life-changing. That was the ability for us to go back to the grocery store, go to a beach, go to the strip club. Not that I went, but I mean, I'm like, hey, girls, you can go. You guys been here for a long time. We can go anywhere. We can go to the supermarket. We can go to the strip club. We can go anywhere. With improv, we can do it. And it was so freeing. It was so freeing to give ourselves that permission.
I love that so much. I hear you, and I could see the light in you when you talk about this moment because I resonate with it so much. It's like therapy. I always tell people the more you do, it's like a drug. It just keeps making you want to come back to it because it creates this kind of dopamine in our brains that makes us feel good. It makes us feel good. We can go anywhere. We can be anything. We can get to the root of who we really are. And that's what you did. And so you were in this women's prison for how long?
For 2.5 years. And actually, it was 6 months of boot camp and then a year and a half that was split, with Kentucky, in Kentucky I always call it Martha Stewart. It's very Martha Stewart-like, her experience because, we could walk on the road island, on that little jogging trail, I could see the Kentucky hills and, across the way, there was the men's camp. We had jogging pants on. There were no bars. We had exercise and yoga. And that's where your good taxpayer money is going, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God. It sounds lovely. Actually. I'm like, what? Some days. No, I'm just like, okay.
Well, it was minimum secure. It was minimum. So, that's why I say it was very a Martha Stewart-esque experience where, but you're still separated and you still had to work. Yeah. I'm not trying to glamorize prison at all. Do not go. Don't do anything at all to get yourself into that.
Right. I'm like looking at my microphone, like I'm telling people like, right. Look at right now. I'm just staring at everybody in the audience. But I will say this. So 2.5 years and then you get out and then what happens? Because I wanted to say, from what I remember, you went right back into improv on the stage, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I connected. I had an incredible lifeline of support and I returned to the stages. Actually, I did not go to Detroit. I went to Chicago and made Chicago my new home. And I was offered a job to start in accounting. And then I think about a month or so later, I am understudying the resident stage again. The same gal who had left Detroit, I am now understudying her. She's now in Chicago performing, Angela Shelton. And now I went in for her and I ended up doing that run. And I was her understudy. This is in Chicago on the ETC stage. And it was just incredible. Meanwhile, I worked for a year in accounting, learning the business and book inside of theater, running a theater. And I worked alongside the VP of finance. And then I got promoted to do corporate theater. And I started producing corporate theater and working with clients of all different sizes. Major League Baseball, I was the first female producer, along with another producer for that gig. And I was really, really pleased and happy to kind of harness, clients and use improvisation, all of that. So it was incredible. And then, my work evolved because I started creating shows and reaching out to communities, bringing underserved, underrepresented voices to Second City by creating shows and reaching out to that community. And that evolved into my work of diversity and inclusion for a year-long program, which is what I had done for 2 decades, running and expanding that division at Second City. Actually, creating that that division because it only was just annual workshops and outreach to particular niche audiences that had not been exposed to the art form, and I created a year-long program.
Can you tell the Fielded family the name of the Bob? I know what it is, but will you tell everybody the name just in case they know somebody who could apply to the program? I don't know if it's still going right now because I know COVID is still going on. We're in the middle of the pandemic, but can you share the name just in case? So because it's such an amazing program, and I just want you to share a little bit more about that.
Yes, it was the Bob Curry Fellowship program, ran for 6 years at Second City. We got NBC sponsorship, also launched a festival, which it had different comedians from all over the world that performed in it. I recruited lots and lots of talent, but yes, the program is an incredible program for those who are interested in getting into the art form and learning master classes in such an expedited way. It really opened the doors.
Can I just say to the Failed It family listening today, the fact that I get to talk to you today is an honor because you have paved the way for so many people, and including Improve It professionals that are our facilitators here, and helping them just reach their full potential. You've created this program that's just helped so many different communities. You've brought so much light to Second City. I trained at Second City a while ago, and I got my love for improvisation there. And we have such a love for the school, and so many of our facilitators are teachers there. And you and I know so many people. And when I said to a few people that I was having you on the show today, you can just tell that you're a light there and everywhere. People who know you, their face lights up when they hear your name. So I just want to say that the world needs more Dionna. We need more. And I know that the pandemic hit the theater world. It hit all of us who are doing live and in-person events. And I know you have gotten a lot of great work going on with storytelling, and your D&I work and your consulting with different companies will never go away. You have such great skills. And I love hearing you talk. You can tell you're a great storytelling teacher because you tell great stories. So I am thrilled. Let me ask you this. What would you say if somebody were to say to you, why is it important to share our quote unquote gifts or our fails with the world? What would your answer to that be?
That would be, we have to embrace all of who we are, the mistakes, the good part, the bad part. I mean, it is who we are. I think there's some valuable lesson. There is some source of inspiration that can help another person. I also think that we wear too many masks, in our corporate world and different relationships and different ways that we show up. But the most important thing is that everywhere we go is a stage. And I understood that my stage was not just on the freaking resident stage of this great comedy, legendary theater. My stage was also with those women in the prison. My stage was also in the shelters. My stage was, in the schools. It was on the South Side. It is also, with my children. And so us being vulnerable, us being honest and telling those stories, those pieces of our life, our history means something. And our stories are really captured in the history of our lives, the ups and downs, how we triumphed, the mistakes that we made. I mean, I'm telling you about, I fell in love with this man and he was older, and that was a huge mistake for me in my 20s. But I don't want it to have power over me where I'm ashamed of anything that I've done in my life, and nor should we. We should not, if we are still here, if we are still here above the earth with all that is going on, including the pandemic and all of the challenges and all the adversities that our parents, our friends, and people are going through, if we are still here walking, by gosh, we have to tell it. We have to tell that we're still here. You went through all that and you're still here. And so I know that I'm not the only one who has gone through something. You're not the only one who has gone through something. The fact that we are still here is the best gift that we can give to people to share. Here's how we did it.
Okay. Mic drop. First of all, that was beautiful. And I got to be honest with you, that resonates so much with me. I think it's almost as if we aren't speaking our truth. We aren't allowing other people to know us. I love that notion of we wear too many masks. And I know you know this as an improviser. I feel like my whole life's work is to help people take those masks off. Although in 2020 and 2021, we're like, put on like a safety mask, put on some PPE real quick. But take the other mask off and let's show up and let's let other people feel less alone through the mistakes and the things that we've gone through, because no one is perfect. And I appreciate you saying that. You sharing this story here with us today is so meaningful. I know so many people. I'm going to get so many texts from the Failed It family about this one because it's so good. And I want to end this with something we call our fail lightning round. Okay. You're going to nail this because there's a little improv, a little thinking quickly on your feet. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions and you have to respond as fast as you can, but only give me a 1-word answer. Okay. So if you say more than 1 word, I'm going to give you a fail like that in a really weird voice, like fail Okay, I'll even make a weird face that no one can see. All right. And this is just pure fun, but it's lightning round, super fast. Are you ready for the fail lightning round, Dionna? Okay, here we go. All right. 1 word to describe your early career.
Promising.
1 word to describe where you're currently at in your career.
Evolving.
Oh, 1 word to describe your future self.
Pro.
Was that pro?
Yeah.
I like that. Pro. Okay, we're going to take it. That's still 1 word. I'm not going to fail yet, but I like that. I like pro. Okay, 1 word to describe your favorite boss.
My mom. Mom.
Fail yeah. Okay, that's all right. Mom. Okay, thanks, Mom. Also, I'm loving, she's at her mom's house. There are some fantastic pillows and fish tanks going on over here, just so everyone's aware. All right, back to failure. Okay, 1 word to describe your least favorite boss.
Narcissistic.
Oh, yep. 1 word to describe your improv style.
Freedom.
1 word to describe your facilitation style.
Vulnerable.
1 word to describe this interview.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you nailed it. You didn't fail it. I'm giving you a go. Here we go. Claps.
Yay.
Take a bow. Another stage. You had a great performance. All right. So where can everyone find you? If they wanted to find you online, how can they find you?
Sure. You can follow me at Dionna Griffin-Irons. But you can also just go to DeonnaGriffinIrons.com.
Awesome. We're going to link to that in the show notes, and everybody reach out to Dionna. She is awesome. Follow her. There's just so much good radiating from you. So I want to thank you, Dionna, so much for being here. I think it's safe to say the world needs more you. Keep spreading that light, my friend. And I appreciate you failing it today.
Thank you so much, Erin. Thank you for providing the space and for catching the gift and just making the world shine bright.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. And to my Failed It fam, fail yeah. Hey friends, thanks for tuning into Failed It. I am so happy you were along for the ride. If you enjoyed this show, please head on over to iTunes, leave us a 5-star review, and subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Now, if you're really feeling today's show, please take a screenshot and tag me on Instagram at Keeping It Real Deal and share it to your stories so we can bring more people to the Failed It family. I'll see you next week, but I want to leave you with this thought. What will you fail at today, and how will that help your future successful self? Think about it. I'm so proud of you, and you are totally failing it. See you next time.